Hello my friends, and happy Friday the 13th evening. And you know, I really never delved into ideas or thoughts of Friday the 13th. And so it was quite a shock to me whenever someone cornered me with the question today: does Friday the 13th actually have any magical connotations? Or is there anything that one should worry about going out on a Friday the 13th? Well, it raised a good question. It really did. I felt that it was a matter to be talked about. First of all, to go right into the fruit of the matter, Friday the 13th absolutely never had any magical quality in the past. Okay, that is, I believe, until the movie Friday the 13th came out in 1978 or thereabout. The movie Friday the 13th, where this drowned boy comes up from the depths of the lake that he drowned in and wreaks havoc, chopping and slashing people into tiny pieces and blasey until, you know, he would eventually find his now dead mother, his mother dying away after the fact, after he had. But it was supposed that he had drowned in the lake while a bunch of teenagers were making out and doing the teenager thing on the beach. Anyway, I believe that's where all of your Friday the 13th phobias and supernatural ideas as well as superstitions come from. I don't believe that anything to do with it beyond that holds any water whatsoever. I mean, if you really want to look at a powerful holiday that may carry with it a lot of supernatural or a lot of magical powers, then let's look at Halloween, which just lies a couple of weeks down the road. Seriously. Anyway, Friday the 13th, I do believe that everything to do with Friday the 13th began pretty much with the movie Friday the 13th. I don't believe there was much before that to do with superstition. I don't recall any anyway. You know, there are a lot of other superstitions that hold more water than Friday the 13th. I mean, what is Friday the 13th? Well, 13 is the witch's dozen. So that's something. Friday is the end of the week, and going into the weekend, a person might go on a dark spiritual retreat or something like that. You know, it is nothing more than a holiday for your gothic types or your superstitious types to partake in. And most of your superstitious types are just going to stay indoors and keep the doors locked, you know. But let's see, I mean, the fact that we recently passed a full moon, there is a lot of power and energy in the earth still, because we haven't transcended far past that, you know, but it still doesn't lend any power to Friday the 13th, and Friday the 13th definitely doesn't lend any power to the full moon. I mean, the full moon, it stands alone and it holds all the power, except for, and let's go into this now, except for the fact that by this point in time, many people have put into Friday the 13th a lot of energy of their own in beliefs of supernatural and in beliefs of superstition, and so therefore, in this day and age, there may be a little bit of energy in a Friday the 13th. Basically, that wouldn't lay within the earth though, and that wouldn't lay within the air, but it would generally lay within your own fears. And fears, your emotions, now are the biggest driver of magical or supernatural or superstitious energy. Okay, and that's the only way that this night would hold any power whatsoever to wreak any kind of havoc. You know, I will say that movies in Hollywood does have such a hold on people that it broadcasting through the air and reaching the ears, the eyes, the brains of so many people, it can touch a, say, abnormal brain. Someone that is somewhat twisted in a lot of ways. And to that regard, it could become a little bit scary. But then so can the full moon. And the full moon, again, holds a lot more power over the human mind than, say, one day called Friday the 13th. You know, so this is my take on the matter, and only my take on the matter. Other people might have a much different idea. There are plenty of stories out there, by the way, you know, and I won't undermine that. Plenty of stories out there by people that say that things have happened to them on a night such as this one called Friday the 13th. I personally don't have any stories regarding Friday the 13th. However, you may have something entirely to share with us, and by all means, please, in the comments and discussion boards below the video, give us your story. Tell us anything that has happened to you on a Friday the 13th. We would all love to hear it. You know, maybe you can make a believer out of us. Anyway, this has been Lady Leeanna with a short brief of Friday the 13th, and I hope that this video has been of a help to you, or at least shines a light on other people's opinions regarding, I guess, what some would call the holiday, you know, or the bloodless night. Anyway, please, by all means, give us your story. If you have one, share it in the discussion boards below the video. Alright? Take care of yourself and many blessings. Hopefully I'll get another video to you on Hallows Eve or shortly before it. Alright? Bye-bye. Merry part.